problem.
Heavenly Father, God, we come before you in the name of Jesus, Lord. We're thankful for this day. We're thankful for all that you do. We ask, Lord, that you bless tonight's meeting, Lord, that peace reign here, and let everything that you said, Lord, be understood also. And we give you the glory and honor in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I know what's that.
We have one member, I think, in the bathroom, so we'll wait a couple minutes for her to get back before we... I didn't realize she was gone.
We're sharing the room with the cook staff out there, so.
Yeah, for the old home days tomorrow. The old home day dinner.
Pretty quiet.
You come over for that? You want it? Lucky. You guys want that tree out of the way? Yeah. And we're sitting in the damn low bed.
What is
Oh,
it?
you just went up there yesterday.
Early morning. All right, let's have the roll call. You want to start, Tim?
Timothy Kerman, here.
Laurie Gunnison here.
Jim Keegan here.
Chuck Terrio, chair here.
Dan Sullivan here.
So we're gonna, since we have our public hearings, we'll start with those first. We're gonna start with the Gagnon one. And we met with council before because we had a bunch of questions on the application. You guys are here. So what we talked to the town council about is that the equitable waiver is if the permit, the garage was exactly 30 feet from the right of way, like the permit said, then we could grant an equitable waiver. But like I had mentioned last time, it doesn't appear that it's that 30 feet from the right of way. And we mentioned that it needed some way that it could be certified of where the garage actually was. Because if we grant you an equitable waiver and it's not at that, and somebody in the future has a problem, could have a problem because they would be almost granted the right to have that a closer garage than whatever their permit says. You know, even though the 50 feet wasn't adhered to, you're allowed to have the 30 because the town made the mistake. But if it's not at that 30, which it doesn't appear to be, we need to have some way, which is a survey, you know, a surveyor. And you don't have to survey the whole lot. It just has to be surveyed where the property corners are, your two front corners.
Of the garage.
No, the two front property corners,
Right.
where the town part ends and your property begins, and then the front two corners of the garage.
Garage, right.
Is really all we need to save you money. You don't have to survey a whole lot and all that stuff. Because there's no way for us to grant you something if we don't really know where it is on the property. Because the street is not necessarily in the center of the right of way or to one side or to the other side. So if you're off, I mean, you could be within a foot, right? You'd be okay. But if you're 10 feet over from where your thing says, then somebody else can come in and say, well, I want mine to be at 40 feet instead of 50 because you gave this guy 10 feet of, you know, extra room. So we just need to have that before we can move forwards. Like we kind of mentioned last time, and because we had to talk to council to find out if we could just grant that equitable. So if it isn't that 30 feet from the right of way, like the permit says, then you have to change it and go to the variance. And in the variance, you need to really know where it is and have that survey. So we've required many other people to do that in the same size lots in the same neighborhood to show, have a surveyor stamp the area that they were going in, even for side setbacks and everything.
And I clarify, so if we can't go the equitable waiver route, because if it doesn't match exactly what's in the permit application, then we can go back to the variance. So that's the terminology there. So,
Just a little confused though. Where did the 30 ever come up?
well, I
It's
guess,
on your site.
Your permit you asked for.
My permit didn't have anything on it.
No, it did.
yeah,
it
so
does.
show him maybe the copy we have.
You drew it, or someone did,
Yes.
drew a diagram.
On the state.
And it
But we gave
You
you
took it from the state, I think,
No,
right?
no, Paul, we submitted that.
Yes, can we show him what we have?
So,
Let me show you that's what we have.
Okay, so now you're saying the corners of each lot from the distance on this kind of angle to the garage?
See your permit.
so,
Oh, yeah.
Come on up here, we'll show you on the tape. Come on up.
So you need 4-point survey,
Oh,
basically.
that's cool. I didn't know they followed that, but yeah.
So you need your 2 front corners, and if you got, is his copy?
Yeah,
Want to
that's-
give him that? We
yeah.
could just mark the,
That's 93, yes.
Yeah.
so you need those 2 points
Make sure what's in there.
Correct.
on the
To
plan.
these two.
2 points, that's all we need, and then we're good. You don't
Okay.
have to survey everybody else's lot, just those things, and then have the surveyor put his little stamp and sign it, and we're good. And what you wanna do, if it's not this 30 feet, see how
It's
your
not.
wife or whoever put this for you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
that's
But if it's not that 30 feet, we need to change it to a variance
Yeah.
instead of an equitable waiver, because
So who,
Oh, I thought we already went with the first time with
Well,
the
we-
variance.
we were going to, but we didn't know that it wasn't actually 30 feet from the right of way. See, and the difference,
And he came up with, you came up with 22 something, and I came up with 23.
right, but that's from the road,
Yes.
so we
Okay.
need to know the actual property corners. See, this isn't,
Okay.
you're showing your property corners, the
Yep.
street is showing like this other line, see how it says street?
Right, yep.
So, that's why I'm saying, the 2 property pins, the front ones, and then those 2 front corners of the thing.
Okay.
And then, if you wanna come in, once you get that survey, come in and talk to us.
Yep.
So we can tell you, okay, this will fit in that equitable waiver. If you do have 30 feet, which we all know that you don't, right, because we've all
Right.
measured it,
Yep.
you're gonna have to change to a variance. If you wanna just come in for a variance, right at that point, when you
I
know
don't
it's less
know
than.
that we know that you don't. I don't, because the road could set.
Right, we need to find out.
We don't know where the
could
right of way
set 10
Right.
feet either
Exactly.
way. All right, and believe me, I hope that the road is set where you're gonna gain the 10 feet and be
Yeah, then-
all set.
then it'll be easy.
I really, truly do.
Then it'll be
Um,
easy.
You can take that to
But
the,
until you,
No.
have you ever surveyed your lot?
No.
No, the neighbor did, remember that? We
He
talked
did?
about
So
that.
they might be able to pull the,
From there.
from there
There's
and
one
measure
that's
it.
been surveyed. Now,
Because you-
John Mullen,
You
But it's okay.
really
You can
only-
start on that one.
You really only need to know,
Just the
you know,
front.
where the right of way actually is, and then measure back to your garage. And,
not a whole full
and then
survey.
then you'll know. That's what we need to know.
Okay.
But you will need, you will need to have him stamp it saying, this is where the actual,
as long as we see that.
line, this is where the actual right of way is, and trust me.
Right. And if you know who that other surveyor is, that might save you money too. Who they used and your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because they already have all that information. They can set up on those again and just do yours.
We had another guy do that.
Yeah.
And we apologize for the equitable waiver, but an equitable waiver is because the building was already built. So when it's already built and there's mistakes in that place, we can grant it. However, it needs to match exactly what's on that, and it doesn't match, so we can't.
and I don't mind that, I'm gonna do that, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with that. The
Just to
problem
have the
is,
survey
when we hit it last
company let
time,
them use their.
the survey came up, and they
Yeah.
said it was fine, you didn't need it.
He mentioned the same thing, that we shouldn't have
And,
built.
okay, now I gotta go and do it.
When they built the
Which I don't
garage,
get.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
whoever came
Because it
and
was
did
supposed to
your,
pass that waiver
your
without the
footings.
survey.
Oh, I can't hear.
So that's how I. see
whoever
it.
came and did the cement work, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Had to have measured,
One would assume, I
Well, if you
don't
had a
know.
contractor that did
yes,
this,
yep,
I mean, he must have seen this building.
yep.
Oh,
I mean, he should have brought it back. It falls back on his insurance too. If this, and none of us are feeling the way that you're gonna have to tear this thing down. But if it ever came to that in a bad town, it would go back on his insurance for not following the permit. He would have said right away, I can't make this at 30 feet. I'm gonna have a 5-foot wide garage.
Correct.
You know, his insurance would say, okay, he messed up. You
Yeah.
know, I've been involved in it. I've taken foundations and bulldozed them over when the
Right.
builder messed them up.
I wouldn't have had a problem last time we were here. You
Yeah.
said to me, I gotta get a permit, I'll get the permit, but you guys said we didn't need.
Not you guys.
no, the survey,
it was
he
said-
mentioned it.
Survey, the survey, okay.
It's okay though. I mean, you're already using the garage. It's not like you can't use
Exactly.
it. So there's no
well,
harm.
hold on, let me be clear. So, the waiver thing, all right, would have been the easier way out, and it would have been the better way out for you and for the town. But in order to be able to use that, you had to have built it according to your plan. We were saying,
We
or
thought
I
it
was
was.
saying.
We thought it was.
Okay, if Carl gave you a permit saying, which he shouldn't have, saying you could build that garage 30 feet back from the right-of-way, that was wrong. You should have he should have told you, you gotta get a variance to put it 30 feet because it's supposed to be 50, but he didn't. So I was assuming that the garage was 30 feet from the road. I hadn't measured it. Okay, well then, once we said we were gonna give you the waiver, other people were saying there's no way that garage is 30 feet from the road now, or from the right of way. And that's where we're at now. So it wasn't, that we were just telling you, yeah, we were gonna give you this. We would be giving it to you right now.
Yeah, if it matches
If
that.
that garage were 30 feet from the right of way. And like I said, it still could be, because I know I work for the highway department. These roads are not, especially over there on the lake, put in the middle of. So the right of way is from your pin on your side of the road to the person across the road from you's pin, okay? And the developer said there's a 30-foot right of way or a 25-foot right of way, whatever it originally was. So that 25, 30, 50 feet, state roads, 50, sometimes 60, is from the property pin on this side of the road to the property on this side of the road.
Okay, so I have to have my neighbor across the street?
No, no.
No, the surveyor will.
The survey will know, but he'll have to
they'll
figure
know.
the right of way.
They'll know, that's what they have to find. That's what you need. You need to know how far your garage is from, from the
Right of way.
actual garage to the right of way. Right?
Because it's not where the pavement is, it's further in the road, yeah.
And if it's 30 feet, then we just grant you the waiver, like we said the last. If it's not 30 feet,
We do a variance.
well, you're
Apply.
gonna have to try to do a variance and not.
So what boils down to, next meeting, you either have a variance or a waiver.
Well, he should have an application,
Well, if he does a variance, he's gotta go through that process.
Yeah.
Right.
but he doesn't need to pay again or anything, he shouldn't, I think that's not,
Town waives fees the first.
great,
Yes, we'll waive the fees again.
thank you, yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So, let's see where we're right now. You got the two property owners on each side of me. They got pins. Now you're saying I have to make sure
No, just the
just
garage.
those two got.
Yep.
No, I'm talking about the guy who's on the other
No,
side.
you don't have to do that.
No,
Nothing,
no,
okay.
No, the survey just will figure out where the right of way is.
What's her name? Across, Chase, those two corners.
I would think, theoretically, as small as those lots are, if one of your neighbors just had theirs done, you will at least be able to get, tonight, get a very good idea of where that right of way is. At least I would.
Can you see the pin? Is it
I,
like,
can
there's
see-
one side we can see the pin.
Right.
That, and
how
that-
far from the road is it, from the pavement?
Foot or two?
So that's good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but
good.
then you'd need to be able to see a pin on the other side, across from
Which
it.
is John's side, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's been,
And that's been gone
Since
before he even
we-
bought the house.
Right.
yeah.
So, but still, you should be able to measure if you knew what the right, see, I know because I saw
But he
it.
still needs to see it now, we want a
That
survey.
whole development has a 30-foot right-of-way, and some of it has a 25-foot right-of-way. Now, I was assuming, which is it's not applicable in this case,
Yep.
that probably the 25 was down at the end of Pinkham where it narrows up. And the rest of it is probably 30 foot. So, even the one pin, if you know it's a good pin,
Yep.
you could pull a tape off that 30 feet across the road and have a basic idea. But still, before we can, you know, before we can do anything, we're gonna need to see a stamped,
Now, you can't take, for that pin that's okay on that side, we see our frontage is 93 yards. So you can go from that pin to the other pin towards John Mullins.
You can find it probably with a metal detector, and that's what they'll do. That's what the
Oh,
surveyors
all right,
do.
Okay, yeah, and then that would be the two pins
Yep.
for the garage.
Yeah, the surveyor will locate it for sure.
All right, so we have to call.
I
And like
think
I
if you
said,
could,
If you know your
if you
neighbor,
could come within a foot or two, you could ride.
if you know who your neighbor used for the
I'm
survey.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll call Gibbs.
yeah, yes.
Let's just pray that the road was settled on your side.
Yeah,
And
well, if they have a pin that's a couple feet from the road right now, then it's more than likely not gonna fit in that 30 feet. Because I've seen roads paved onto people's property. I had it in the town of Londonderry, which is a huge town. That was rebuilding the road, it was actually out onto people's property. To straighten it out, they went on people's property.
I'm sure there are roads over there
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
actually on, you know,
That would help you.
not necessarily in Pinkham, but
But,
over by the lake, I'm fairly certain that there are roads
Yeah.
that actually touching on
On one side.
on the other person's property.
so is the pin, you come this way and go against wherever the garage is, and the same way the other side, or is it on an angle?
No, he's gonna locate it and give us an actual plan like this that's stamped. We'll
Right.
see it on the plan.
And you'll just show us, but
We'll just
can we
go.
use the same variance application? If it doesn't match his, if he doesn't have the 30 feet and it doesn't match your
I don't have the
plan.
30 feet.
All right, so then we know, so then maybe, can we use the same variance application and, or no, we have to do a whole new
Well, he
thing?
has to bring it in with that survey attached to it.
Let's go first,
Yeah,
we need
Yep.
that first,
Yep.
and then we go from there.
yeah.
All right.
We can't get
One other question.
supplement anything, that's.
You had said, at the beginning of this, that you measured 20-something, Carl said it was
It was
20.
23, and he said it was 22 and a half.
So when was that?
Last time we were here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
at that first meeting,
but,
And, yeah,
that's what I told you.
but I'm assuming that you thought when it was being built, it was 30 feet.
Exactly,
correct.
yes.
Okay, who did you entrust that to? The cement guy?
The cement
Yes,
guy,
yeah, he set up all the,
Okay.
he did all of it.
and he did a good job, he had his labor and everything.
Except it's not the right spot. So it's not really a good job.
So we know so technically, even though he gets the survey, we know we're gonna do a variance. It's
Right,
not
but
gonna
he still
match.
needs a survey first for the variance.
So we know, okay.
Because you need to know that footage and spell it out.
So we can have the exact, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because
Oh,
you
I
have to
see.
ask
So
for that
you want
footage.
to Be specific on what your
You have to.
distance is from the
Right.
road
Yep,
before we go to the variance.
yes.
From the right of way, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I should come equipped with a survey, brand new shiny variance, and or.
It'll be filled out exactly like the other one, but you'll have the survey and have the right footage on there that you're asking for the variance for.
All right.
Okay.
So they're gonna come to the next meeting with this plan?
Yep,
Hopefully, if you
and
get a
then we'll
surveyor in
decide
time.
From then, what
Well,
happens.
here's the thing, we're cutting
Well,
close.
Well, we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah,
So
because
don't
I
worry
go to
about it.
Florida, so hopefully you
Yeah, no,
can
this
get it
is
done
more
quick.
important.
And then we gotta wait a month for the.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Well, it's 2 weeks to be, now, what are we doing on this notice? This is not, we've already done away with the variance notices that went out, and this was another
We
new
did the
notice?
variance notice. We had-
I heard in my zoning today that as long as we make an appointment today, because we've already sent out notices, you don't need to set up notices again, as long as in the end of your meeting you say.
That's only if it's the same application. So
Right.
that's why I was asking, we've done away with the variance application?
No.
And nobody
Still
showed
have
up,
the variance
remember?
application, then we did the
Yeah.
hearing.
Another notice
Oh
for
my God.
equitable
We did the
waiver?
notice
Yes.
of the equitable waiver.
Nobody's,
That's what this is about.
Correct.
Do you think we should ask the attorney?
as long as we need to,
If we need to renotice for that?
we can set the appointment right now, I heard it today in
For a
the
variance?
class.
I'm sure
As long as we set the appointment, you don't need another notices.
for a variance,
Yeah, because we've changed it from.
right.
But as long as you set up an appointment right now,
No,
you
it's
don't
a
need
different
to-
application.
It's starting again.
No, yeah, it's gonna be a new application.
I think that's what we're.
Well,
Yeah.
call her and spend another $200.
I heard it today, that as long as we set
no,
up in
that's-
this meeting, verbally,
It's
locally,
all
in the
right,
news.
she's gonna call the attorney.
I think that's for extending.
Extending,
Yes,
that's
extending.
extending. We're not doing that, it's a new application.
Well, it's still the same application, we're the ones that's.
I don't think we need to spend money on the attorney. I know that it's gonna be a new application.
You're the chairman, you can
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's a new application, because that's why I was asking if at the last meeting, we did away with the other one. I wasn't sure if we did or not, if we formally said that that wasn't gonna go on. Because,
We're gonna
see,
look
this
like
is
we're
still the
gonna
next
stick
meeting.
together.
If you can extra notice for something else gonna go on
How
in the
much
meeting.
gonna cost to send them out? How much?
Well, 150 for the newspaper ad and about $30.
It should be, I make a motion that it's our charge, not theirs.
About 180.
That's cheaper than the lawyer.
We can't do anything until we have the survey.
Why would
Everything else is
do that
moving.
again for the,
So let's move
the
on.
abutters? You've done it twice and nobody's even showed up.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
why
because
would you do that again? I'm not sure why.
Well, because you're required to,
Oh, you
Yeah.
are?
maybe.
Maybe.
So just to be prepared, survey report, variance, and a new application, just so I cover all my ground.
Well, if I mean, you can do the application if you'd like. We're not, if it's, okay. If
I would
you
do
survey it and it's 30 feet,
Yeah.
you just hit the Powerball, you're all set. You'll get your waiver and you won't have to
Gotta
do
vote on it.
another application or
All right.
It's
anything.
not gonna get there.
Okay,
Right.
if it doesn't get there, then yes, fill out the
And
application.
because it's really,
And-
your variance before was even at the 30 feet, that's why we
Yes,
changed.
yes.
So no matter what, this new application is gonna say that like 22
You have to have the
feet or
exact
whatever.
measurement to.
It's
for
gonna be a new
legalities.
application all the way.
For
So you have to
legalities.
notify people of that,
Correct.
you know, for that point.
But I had thought that Kyle had that information and that was gonna be filed
No.
that way.
No,
I thought
Okay,
the
so-
Kyle-
We don't do a lot of filing.
Kyle would be-
two different forms of government.
You know?
That's the executive branch.
It wasn't even built.
There's not a lot of filing going on over here.
No, I
Well,
understand.
they should have taken that.
I'm terrible.
We trusted the.
I'm glad you
It's
have.
unfortunate, but I think we can get through it. We gotta do it.
Yep.
We just gotta make sure it's legal
Yeah, that's fine.
for everybody.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so-
Thank you, have a good night, sorry,
Yeah,
yep.
thanks. I'll start chopping up the road now. I mean,
Yep.
what?
I know.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Do you have another application, empty application?
Get the survey.
Let's do the survey.
Survey.
Okay.
We'll find, like that, what happened with the survey, and then we'll decide from there.
Yep,
Okay.
all right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
The neighbors are gonna think that we're gonna shut down, huh?
No, it's,
I'm
we have to
just
try
saying, all
and
these people getting.
somewhat do it,
All right,
everything.
Well, maybe they ought to volunteer to sit up on this board
I
and
know,
give it a
yeah.
shot.
All right, next we have Danielle Dugan.
yep.
Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys?
Why don't you, if you guys could sit, could you sit right up there and so I can.
Take the hot
I
seat.
can- I got hearing aids, I don't hear that great, so.
These are our lovely neighbors over here. We were originally told that we were a butter. Now, after we went, because we didn't get a letter, and we went and spoke with Robin. She later called me and said that we weren't butters because we're on Silver. But we're at an
You're across the street.
angle.
Yeah,
Yep.
And so we're not butters because we're at an angle,
well,
but
but
the
Here-
map
here's
that
the thing,
she
right?
had,
So,
I was trying
so
to.
technically, I'll set the record straight. So, and Laura, I'm sure she'll back me up. So zoning boards are a little different than planning boards. Zoning board, it only actually, believe it or not, is people that touch you. The planning board is anybody that the property even is in a 45 or any angle that it's near. So the zoning board technically didn't even have, we do it as a courtesy, like the planning board does. We try and mimic them so that everybody knows in the area what's going on. So technically, legally, didn't have to get a notice. We try to do it so that everybody can be here. And since you're here, it's a moot point anyhow, because you're here.
Right, right.
So,
and also I would point out that, you know, we're required to put it in the newspaper, or put it out on the town website, put it on all the bulletin boards, you know, and that's the way it should be. You try to be as transparent as you can. Also, everybody has the same say and carries the same clout. Just because you're a butter, doesn't mean that you're gonna be any more impactful on this board.
Right,
Anybody that lives in Middleton could come to any zoning board, issue. We normally don't get big crowds, but you know, we certainly, are happy to hear what everybody has to say. and
sure,
take it into
we're just here to gather information, that's
Yep.
So they're building a nuclear test site.
I don't think
Now it's gonna be easy, now that we move on from there. All right, so you guys are on, what number Sunrise? 5? 3? 5 Sunrise Drive. Map 4, lot 27?
217.
217, okay. And they, what's that?
I'm shuffling through my papers. trying
And
to
you're
catch up.
looking for,
Two variances, I do believe.
so they're distance variances?
Yes. One up on Sunrise and the other one too.
Because it's a corner lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There's no plan or anything that shows us what you guys?
You gotta-
Yeah, they have a
We just
plan.
have the measurements, but we do have like a, showing like the measurements from the.
Show us whatever you
From
have.
the road to the
I
house.
don't have that, did you? None of us have that, did you?
I have something here, but you
Oh,
have a
guys
plan.
didn't turn that in yet?
Alright, so, well, we just did like that.
Here's their corner lot,
Where'd you get that?
from information that they have, and she has, do you have this, remember the survey that you have with the lot?
Oh, yes, I have
Yep,
that.
she has,
You get the second.
Do I need that? Or do you have that?
How come we
I
don't
that.
have it?
I thought, I don't know, I don't know if she passed it in or what, but
How did you get it?
online,
Oh,
online.
no, we don't have that, because it's not in the application.
No.
Yep,
So this just shows, the proposed house, to the road is 80 feet.
show them that map that's in your hand right there, that's what they're looking
Oh,
for.
this one?
That's what I got
Yeah,
online,
it's right here.
with the
It
stamp
just
and
shows the
stamps.
measurements and like the proposed house.
So this
to the
is your
front of
lot?
the road.
I'm trying to line up here. This
Yeah,
map.
my lot is right here. Yep.
427, okay, yep, I said, 217.
You have this one?
And
That's
I'll give you,
Yeah,
put
but
this,
that
this is an
measurement.
affidavit, a survey that was done in 2022 on that lot.
Measurement.
It has the measurements.
No, it needs to come from her.
Right, well, I'll give this.
Well, all right, never
It
mind.
has the measurement.
Right, we can't supply those things.
Okay, yeah, it's my constitutional obligation to assist the citizens of this town.
This is just shows the
That's the
the
septic plan we
this
got
is the
for
septic
it.
plans. It
That's the
shows all the
measurement.
measurements, like the measurements, this is the proposed house, and the measurements from the road to the proposed house on Silver Street, and the road from Sunrise Drive to the proposed house on Sunrise Drive.
Okay.
Do you have a septic design done?
Yes, we do.
And do you have a permit from the state and approval from the septic?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
So now that should have been, is that in your application also? That's what I'm saying, these things needed to be,
Yeah,
that's what they're gonna ask, if there's an approved septic design, it shows the measurements.
The plastic bag.
Those are things that we would want to see with the application.
This is the,
Yep,
And who is the septic designer?
Mark McConkey.
Okay. He's a state rep, so he's very,
Yeah, he's a friend.
yep. He works for the state, so.
So were you denied a building permit from the building inspector?
Yes, we were.
Because why did he deny it?
I believe because we needed a variance.
For the, because they don't have 50
Because
feet.
we don't have enough room for, so there's,
Do you have a copy of that with you?
a copy of
The denial? Yeah.
I don't,
Because usually there's a listing of what, so that we can match it. See, when he denies it, that's what we have to base on,
yeah,
what we need to give you to satisfy him.
I I don't have I just was told it was denied. And by.
They're supposed to give you a letter saying why it's
Carl
denied.
Roy just said that it was denied, but he didn't give me a
Give us
letter
a
or anything, he
retaining
just said it
wall.
was denied.
In the letter you wrote, you said something about a wall and a ledge. I saw that in the letter.
Yeah.
Did you guys read the letter?
Wall there. So,
Did-
I don't know, the bagman, whatever they call it, don't wash out.
Yep. So they wrote this, did you see the letter that they came across the email? That was a letter that talked about their hardship in their lot. These are all non-conforming lots, all in the Sunrise Lake District.
All right, all right.
No, no, no,
listen,
no, no.
listen,
You're
can we
using the
just
wrong-
take a break for
yeah.
a second?
I know, well,
Because I got 25 things going by me and I just gotta get it in my
So
head.
yeah, don't say non-conforming, because
What-
that's
what's
not,
going
well, they
on?
all are. It says it right on the paper.
well,
All right,
they don't meet the current zone.
exactly.
It was.
So that's why they
it was
got
a-
denied.
It's an existing lot.
That's why it was denied, because she doesn't have the 50 feet.
You need a copy of the letter from Carl, exactly why he denied it.
Right, we
I
should,
requested
we
a
can't-
I did request a letter from Carl, I never got it though.
We don't know what he's stating, so we don't know what we can do.
Right.
We have to know why it was denied, and we need to see this should be included with the.
He basically told me that it was going to be denied before I even submitted it.
Let me ask you,
and you did submit for a building permit?
I did.
Yes.
Can you call Carl? I mean, I don't know.
Robin asked him to come, he said he couldn't make it, right?
Oh,
I asked him if he was coming, I didn't get a response.
how big is your house that you're gonna build?
22 by 30.
So it's a very small home,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, it's
20
on the plan here, it says
Yes, but
So that's,
32 by 22.
no, 22 by 22, yep, so that's a small,
32.
oh, 32, yep. Which, because, and it's 80 feet, I did see, because I looked at the lot, it's 80 feet, so that would give you 22, yep, okay. So technically, you're not looking at, you're probably only looking at about a 15-foot variance. How, do you know the exact measurements of your variance?
On one side, from Silver Street to the house, the proposed house, is a 15-foot variance, and from Sunrise Drive to the proposed house is a 12-foot variance.
So
Okay.
you'd be 15 feet,
14 feet foot variance.
No, 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 they're already, how far from the driveway to the house, how far is your house, 30 feet?
This is showing,
sex, man.
hold on, Lori, let's,
Well, I'm just asking the
no,
road.
let's just chill for a minute. You're up asking like 9,000 questions. The property lines are shown here. So from where your house is shown, you're going from the street, and the property line's way back here. So that's 35 from the street. So really, you're gonna be about probably 30 feet or something, because it looks like 5 feet, roughly 5 to 8 feet there. So it looks like you're gonna be 30 or 28 feet from the right of way. See, what you need to have is all that stuff listed properly. Really, you need the denial letter of why he's denying it, and it should be for those setbacks, because you can't meet the setbacks, because you got a septic design now. You need to have that letter from him saying that you don't meet, because you clearly meet this one. I mean, you're
I
clearly meeting
requested
50
it
feet
several
there.
times.
Well, when are we gonna, I don't know, that's,
I did request it several times from him, and he didn't give
Fill out
me
the
anything,
application.
nothing official.
He said he plowed his keys in the snowbank, couldn't get the application, it was all kinds of things.
Okay, but, just so I'm clear, we have to know exactly what it is that you guys are requesting.
Two
You know,
variants.
write down, so, you know, 1, 2, 3 variances, whatever, doesn't matter, you could want 5 variances, but they have to be specific. So, you know, we gotta know exactly, if the building inspector is shooting you down, we need to know why, exactly why. You know, and then we can set, you know, we can try to keep you in the right direction as far as filling out your application and getting it submitted the right way, because it's quite a process to go through. We have to review it all, and, you know, It's pretty lengthy. But we have to have the correct information before. It's not something that you can stop, like this right here, we start going through and then it changes. That can't happen when we're sitting down actually considering your variance. We're gonna go off exactly what you told us, right? That's why it's important to know what it is that the building inspector or code guy, whatever he is, in that capacity, is telling you. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I mean?
said it was through an email, it was denied,
Huh?
and he didn't say why, and he didn't send, he
Right.
said, he
Well,
couldn't send me anything in, like.
Well,
in a
and
letter.
I didn't.
trust me, we can get his butt in here
Because I didn't.
and have him sit down and explain it all and everything. You know, you're talking about this ledge, which is what you're forcing you out, so I'm assuming you have enough property to get the setbacks, but it's ledge there and he wanted you to build a wall or something?
Right, well, there's a slope in the middle of, in the center of the lot, and he wanted us to build a wall to support that slope and build it in with the foundation.
So the slope, if I was standing on Silver Street,
Looking at it.
I've seen it, yeah.
looking in, I've seen it, I see it every day.
You see a slope,
Retaining wall, yeah.
like.
What, to the left?
To the left.
If I was standing in the road looking at, looking at
To the
sunrise.
left, you see the slope going down the center of the lot.
Yeah, but if you're on Sunrise, it's over on the left.
If you're on Sunrise, it's right in front. It's like, there's the lot, and then there's like basically part of the lot is like.
So
a
where
hill.
you've dug into the bank right there,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So you've dug into that bank and now he wants a retaining wall in
Yeah,
there?
retaining wall, so,
And the retaining wall is gonna push you out even further towards
Correct.
Sunrise?
Yes.
And you're looking for how many feet off Sunrise? 4?
Mary Ann?
so there's 15.
15. And how many feet off Silver?
I'm gonna ask the guy that made those blocks.
Roughly.
But you said one of them,
Roughly 15 feet.
15. So it's, you could almost say 15 and 15.
Yes.
And,
All right.
and I need a clarification too. I just want to make sure that, I know this too. Normally it's 50 feet, but you're going to build your house in about 35 feet, is that correct?
Yes.
So you need.
So that's
okay.
3.
They're trying now.
That's 3, not 2, right? You need a,
No, 2, because it's on the corner, but I'm just saying, instead of coming in 50 feet, she's saying it's coming in 35, so that's why you're looking for 15.
They're gonna need, I'm assuming, a variance from the line off the, whatever, call it, the northern side of their lot, and then they're gonna need a variance off the southern side as well.
No, because they still got, it goes 80 feet wide,
Yeah,
right?
it's 80 feet wide, the lot.
Yeah, but
So,
she's saying they need a
technically, no.
15-foot variance off of Sunrise,
Going in,
and a
yep,
15-foot off of Silver.
yep.
Yes.
Right now.
No, you don't need anything off of Sunrise, you need that 50 feet, don't you?
I don't think so.
No, if it's only 7 feet wide.
No, it's 80 feet at one end and 78 at the other.
They're not building the house on the edge of the
Right.
property. They're
Right.
building the house more towards the middle of the property.
So you're right.
Which would be 78 though, it is 78 on the lowest point.
And it creates a hardship
That's
because
a
of
track
slope.
50 from one side and 10 from the other.
No, it's 50 in, it's not from the sides, I'm telling you.
It's 50 in and 10 from
Because the lot goes
Yeah,
down
it's
50
only
here
10.
and 50 here.
Right, that's where it has to be, it can
Yeah.
be 10 from these
10
two.
from the
Yeah.
abutting property.
So 50
So
from this point.
altogether, you're gonna lose 60 feet. 50 in one end and 70 feet,
So-
60 feet, 50 in one end and 10 in the other. So if the property is 80 feet wide, you're losing 60 feet already.
But if the property's 80 feet wide and the house is 22 feet wide,
Yeah.
22.
That's what I'm saying.
So there's
Yeah.
40.
You lose, you just by your setbacks, you're
Yeah.
losing a good portion of the land.
So it's
See,
not-
80 here, it's much more, but that's 80, that's much wider up here. See that 80? It's much
it's just the
wider
way that
there.
they're.
This is actually what the septic guy, he found these pins and shot them in, so. You're probably 110 or something at that upper part wide? That's what I'm saying, I heard these
114.
114 wide, yeah.
No, not wide, long. Yeah, it's a narrow lot.
On this side.
The Silver Street side doesn't is that wall.
No, right.
Yeah.
And I picked this up at the registry of deeds, and this is the exact, this is the guy that did it right here, the original, this came from the registry of deeds, with the stamp.
Yeah, 'cause it's 71 plus a 50-foot radius, so you're basically like another 40 feet.
Yeah.
So it's almost 110 feet wide at the top. But, I mean, I've been building since I was 6 years old, so the issue that we're gonna have is
You don't have it.
What's that?
you have enough room to fit this house if you slide it down where the septic is and put the septic up towards the other end and put the well down in this corner. You have enough room to fit this house in there, you don't have to dig out as much of that slope as you're trying to dig out. You can put it down in the middle of the lot and meet all your setbacks, is what I'm trying to show you.
Okay.
And then just switch your septic and put it up here in this corner,
Well-
and then put your well down in that corner. You can fit everything you need to without any of these whole
Really?
harassing things you're going through.
New
Okay.
plans, bring it to the.
Absolutely.
Inspector.
But do you, because the guy did the septic design, isn't it based on the soil
You can
and
do
the
this-
flow?
No, the soil's good up there. It's better up there than it is down near the wetlands. I mean, you got plenty of room. He's got these riverine wetlands inside, so you gotta be 75 feet from them. That's what I'm saying. You can put the septic right here.
Maybe
Easily.
talk to the designer then to switch. but-
Easily make that work. Cause see, this is a 75-foot radius from that well. So if you slid that line over to the edge of that wetlands, you could put the septic right there in front of the house. It would still be gravity. Put the well down here away from it. You could make all that work. You could make the whole thing work without having to get and not dig out so much of that slope. I mean, we all see you digging that slope.
I'd rather, it'd be better if
Working
we were
at that
away
for
from
a
the
long time.
slope.
Yeah,
That would be better to be away from the slope.
yeah, that would be
Well,
better.
maybe Chuck needs to talk to the guy.
I mean, because I just look at it like, you're trying to do all this work, and it would be so much easier for you to literally just slide that house down, because you have 10-foot setbacks on the two sides, and you can make 50 feet. Just go 50 feet from there and 50 feet from that side, and put your house right there, and then swap the septic up to this side. Keep it 75 feet from that wetlands on the other side, and make that all work, and not have to deal with all of this whole arrangement, and you can fill that slope back in, you
So
know.
the house would be sorry. So
The house would be kind of where,
closer to the lake, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
slide it down
Okay.
towards the lake. right
Where your
the septic
camper is right now,
Okay.
where the camper is parked, that's, I think that's where he's referring to.
I
haven't
originally
seen
wanted the
where that
house
is.
there to begin with.
I haven't seen what that is with that.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if the chairman could take a visit,
Well,
That way it's,
help them?
you know, better for the neighbors.
it would just make more sense to do that and not have to go through all this whole big hassle.
Get a new
But
design.
you're gonna have to get the designs.
Just the septic design would be redesigned a little bit, just to flop it over here. It would go in the front yard right
Hopefully that
there.
wouldn't be a big
'Cause the house
expense.
is high enough right here for it to flow slow gravity over to there. You got plenty of room to do everything that you need to do. You could even put the well up here and still miss the 75 feet from the septic.
So I just need to
You can put it
contact
in each
Mr.
corner.
McConkey about getting a new design.
Yeah, have him call me,
Just-
we can go over and look at it.
Okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
try and get it to fit in there a lot better.
Maybe-
Because if you, so, the variance is, if you have the hardship or whatever, but if you could make that work without it, it's hard for us to give you a variance, but somebody else has a much smaller lot that needs the variance, they're gonna come in and say, well, they just wanna keep the house there, they could've moved it down, why can't we have a variance? But if you can make this all fit in there, make it all work, which clearly we can, I can see it working just fine. I mean, that's actually a good sized lot for what you're trying to do.
The guy just put one up the road from you on,
Yeah.
which isn't much bigger.
Yeah.
Did a really nice
I think this
job with
sounds wonderful. So
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah,
great.
so-
it. It's,
So yeah, just have the designer call me and we'll try and get it.
His name is
figured out.
Chuck Tatro, you might wanna take his number.
Yeah, not really that, but
close.
you almost got it.
Oh, it's not Tatro.
Do we
Terry.
get that? Hey,
Terry.
how can she contact you?
Get a card?
Or,
Yeah, I'll
okay,
give you my card.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure you want.
I'll give you my card. So you,
Okay.
you know, we'll work it out so that you don't need
Because it
that
could be crazy, people take the number down like me.
variance.
Talking to more people online.
Oh, I like it already, that's good.
Now, this is yours, right, too?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
thank you.
Oh, I wanna give you this and put it to town.
Okay.
I picked it up, but this is,
I actually have it.
but this is nice, but I want to show you something. I'll show you after.
Yeah, if you didn't have to get variances, it makes it a lot easier. Much
Yeah,
Yeah.
Things change over time.
yeah.
You hope you.
All right, now we got it. Thank you guys for coming. Give me a
Because
call.
I went to the
Make a motion to take this.
Yep, anybody wanna make a motion to table it, to make sure that they really need it?
So they.
We'll try and,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, but however,
so what we're gonna do, we're gonna table it, but continue it to the next meeting so that I can go out there and meet with them. And if anybody else wants to come along, you're more
I
than
wanna
welcome to. And we'll take a look at it and see if we can fit everything in there for them. So we're gonna continue the public hearing till next meeting, so that they don't have to renotice it.
Notices or anything,
Yeah.
but the site visit, I think, has to.
Yep, we
be
wanna-
public.
but put the date, next Monday, you tell me the date, I'll show up anytime. I wanna come and see it too.
What is this?
There was a motion on the table.
Well, we're still trying to modify the motion,
Modify.
because we're gonna have a site visit too. And at that site
And we're
visit,
gonna
I'll
be-
look at the plan with them and their.
It's
hopefully
advantageous
their
for you,
designer.
for us to come visit.
So would it be, what is, today's the 20th?
Mhm.
What is,
Next Tuesday?
What? For what, another meeting?
We're gonna,
No,
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 we're
site
gonna,
visit.
we're just gonna site visit, he
You
wants to
don't
get
have
his
to come, I
advice.
mean, we just-
I wanna get his advice too, so you pick your
So,
time, put it on the note.
what?
We're gonna have her document it, the time and date.
Calm down.
You
You
need a
confused,
calendar?
Jimmy's just frazzled and
I don't
confusing
care.
everybody here.
APH,
So we want to know if they, because we want their designer there at the same time to answer some questions, your septic designer. So, you wanna hold it open that we can figure out just the date?
Yeah.
For this thing? You can send an email out to what date and make sure it works with everybody for the date to go on a site visit?
Yeah.
For them?
That's a good idea.
I mean, potentially maybe next Saturday or whatever, you know.
So I'll make a motion that Chuck and Lori are gonna have a field trip. And
Yep,
when-
not
when-
everybody has to come.
When they figure out when they can get the septic designer,
Mr. McConaughey,
Yep.
McConkey, whatever, the designer, yep.
the designer there, then they'll meet.
Not needing
What's
a
the
variance.
best course going forward?
Correct.
For not needing a variance.
And we're gonna continue this public hearing until our next meeting.
next meeting.
And in
17th September.
All right, so you made the
September
motion?
Yep,
Who seconded it?
I,
Dan.
and,
All in favor?
Aye.
We had enough discussion, we don't need the discussion
You have
on
a
that.
question or a comment over here?
Will there be a notification sent out?
No, that's why we're extending it to the next meeting now. So, the
So how will I know when the next meeting is?
It will be the 17th of
17th
September.
of September.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Contrary to what some people believe, sometimes we actually do just try to help people.
No, that's great.
So-
I missed the name.
and I'd like to know, you are, people in the neighborhood, correct?
Right across the street.
Okay, wonderful.
So the agenda's online usually what, a week before?
Yep.
Tim does the agenda.
Yes, it's usually.
So you can look online and see if they're actually on the agenda for the next meeting. It's the public hearing will be there, but it might say canceled or not needed on the agenda also.
Okay, so September 17th, shipping.
September 17th.
Yep.
And in the meantime, reach out to him,
6:30 here.
Okay.
we can meet.
I mean, I'm available this Saturday or whatever you guys wanna do, so just figure out what he's available. If he's available this Saturday, then that's good too.
Okay.
To go out and meet.
And that would be nice. And also, I'd like to just make a comment that we need to have, if there is, hopefully there won't have to be a variance, but we need the proper documentation on the exact denial, right?
Right, and I texted Carl
Okay, good.
that we need to know why he denied it.
All right.
Or said it wouldn't, I mean, you can't just tell somebody that they're not gonna get a permit. He needs to put it in writing so we have something to work off of.
Yes,
Thank-
if you have a new plan, then you have to have a new application for building permit under these new plans. And if there's no variances needed or anything, you're all set.
Yep, you don't
You
have to.
should be all set.
You did our
Thank you,
first, you
guys.
already got the septic
Thank
design
you.
done, so that's good.
Thank you.
All right, now,
As we continue, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
No, which, you had two though, right? Didn't you have two? Or did you
Uh,
guys?
Bye-bye.
Just the one.
So
Yeah, we
at
said
the
one.
last meeting that I wasn't at,
The hearing.
last week or whatever, did you approve the minutes from before? Okay, good, so it's only these from the last meeting?
No, last, yeah, because let's call on the, yeah, we have the one from, yeah.
There's the one from the last meeting and the one from the hearing.
Can we approve the hearing?
Thank
one
you very much for
from
coming.
Last meeting?
You're welcome.
The
Thank you.
last thing we did was,
Yeah, the rehearing.
right.
So you approve?
Can we approve the minutes then? No.
Yep.
Alright, so I can't do anything, I can just run this for you guys. You wanna entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last week on the appeal.
The amended minutes I saw.
Okay. Oh, they were.
Yeah, there was a couple of typos in it. On the one you have there, the changes.
I do.
Any discussion?
No.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstained because I wasn't there. All right. Next thing,
Wait a
adjournment.
minute, slow down there, Linda.
I got a full game, that's all.
All right. Nothing. We don't, anybody have any other business? We're all good?
All good?
Awesome.
I'll second that motion that she made you adjourn.
All in favor?